In that workshop, we take a deeper look on the histogram functionality of the management center. This is a functionality which is since a longer time available in the management center, but now we have improved the whole mechanism, and thanks to the inbuilt database of the management center, now management center accessing the statistical data, getting that from the camera and store that permanently in the local database. Of course, then in this case, the database acting as a kind of turbo cache to visualize and operate with such kind of historical histogram data. We have two operation modes. One of them is if we are working in the live mode, we can enable all the time in every view that historical histogram view. That means we see here in the overview when and how many events was happened in the past. And as we can see here now, we have a monthly overview that it covers 6 months. Now in this setup, we can see here in the beginning of August, we got a huge amount of events in this area. We got some peaks in the mid of July. We got nothing in June, maybe it was vacation time, yeah. Then we got between May and June some peaks, then a longer break, and we got some higher peaks in April time. So immediately that gives me an overview, and if I slide here a little bit or zoom a little bit in, and moving with the mouse my histogram bar a little bit to the right side, and now if I zooming a little bit into that time here on the 2nd of August and take a look why we have here so many events in that short time, and go with the mouse over it, and then I got here some information that that peak represents one event. So we see we got within 11 seconds one event. And why is that 11 seconds? Of course, that it's the toy train time to get one round through that toy train situation. Yeah, so that means during that time, the toy train was driving and producing every 10, 11 seconds a new event. If we're switching now to the playback view, then we have an additional functionality. Then it's not only a statistical view of the histogram. In this case, it's a statistical view of the events, what was happened, but also a navigator. If I'm pressing here on that event, immediately it's jumping to that selected event. As you can see, that was the setup of our toy train. And you see sometimes that I'm getting there and adjusting here cameras, adjusting the views and stuff like that. And if I zoom out, I get a little bit more to the newer dates. Maybe here we see some activities. Yeah, clear. Now that's when the camera was set up finally, yeah. And here we can really jump to the moments, yeah, where the toy train was getting maybe on that side, yeah. And if we selecting another event, then we see in the nighttime, then the train is over there, yeah. So it simply shows me and navigates me to the important events based a little bit on the statistical overview when was their events, yeah. And in addition, we have here on the left-hand side 3 symbols where we have also improved here a little bit of functionality. The first symbol switch between the visibility of the bars, smaller or thinner lines, and we have also the timeline where the histogram should represent. At the moment, the whole area represents up to 6 months. But we also can say, no, I'm not interested what was happened months ago. I'm only interested what was happened a week ago. And then you can shrink the time which represents that histogram data to the week or by 2 days or 1 day. And very important is at the moment we have selecting all events should be visualized in that histogram bar. That means if the camera has a video motion and an activity sensor and a message event, all of them will summarize visualized in that histogram view. If we are only interested to say, okay, was there any shock detection during that time of the last days, yeah, in December, for example, then I can say, okay, shock detector, and immediately I can recognize, okay, there was no shock detection event. That means nobody has attacked my camera, nobody has adjusted the camera, that it's fine. I don't need to waste any longer time in the research. That it's one perfect example how to reduce the investment of playback time with that kind of forensic search functionality of the histogram, or in addition what I've shown in the other workshop is the post-video motion, or with our smart data search. Maybe one important marker is about the red line here. The red line means this is normally the current time where the histogram bar is positioning or playing or showing the event in the playback. You can imagine if the recording, it's by default maybe let us say 7 days, the retention time is normally, and the histogram data can cover up to 6 months. That means there will be situations where you have histogram data but no longer footage recorded, of course. And this is displayed by that red bar. Let me jump here to one of other events here. As you can see now, I'm switching here to another event. Now I'm switching to March, and for March, definitely I have no recordings there. As you can see, it will not jumping over that, and it's only will displaying the histogram data. If I'm choosing here now histogram data, excuse me for that, because during that time there was no shock detection. But now you can see there was some activity events, for example, the red bar positioning on the last recorded footage. And if I selecting more on the left side from that red bar, there's no new positioning in the playback possible, because from that time on and in the past there was no recordings any longer available. If you're switching here on the right hand side, it's positioning there and immediately changing the image in the recording. Yeah? So I think this is all what I can tell you about the histogram in the version 2.6.1, and I will can say have fun with the new functionality and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.